Hey guys, welcome to Deborah's Tutorials. Today I'm just jumping on here, down here in the lab, working on some stuff. And a friend of mine wants a pair of Converse. She wants a Converse tumbler. So I am going to try and make one for her today. So the first place I am going to start is in my Vinyl Master. And she wants a pair of green Converse. So I am going to go in and I want to find under my backgrounds I have downloaded some green fabric. All right, so I am going to go and find that green fabric, which is right there, and I'm going to bring it in. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I actually went to as you may or may not know, I did my first Converse design last week. I designed myself a pair of, they were plaid, well actually houndstooth Converse. So I'm an University of Alabama fan, so I put Roll Tide on them. And I went on Etsy and I actually found someone who had made a couple of designs, and I really liked the laces on the design. So I did buy a couple of them from her, and I want to show them to you here. I did buy a couple of them. So here's my design I did for the Converse, the Roll Tide. All right, so I'm gonna put that right there. All right, so what I did was when I went to her online on Etsy, I was just searching, looking at different designs. And this particular designer had the laces, and the laces part looked so real with the stitching and everything, and I really liked it. So I bought a couple of her designs, but what I ended up doing was messaging her, did a private message to her, because I really just wanted to get these shoelaces. And I wanted to just get the shoelaces because I wanted to, of course, make my own designs like I did with the Roll Tide, the Converse. All right, so she was gracious enough to sell me just the laces. And I asked her to give them to me with the laces showing and without the laces, with just the holes. So I'm gonna bring them in right here so you guys can see the difference. All right, so here's one that has the laces, and this was the one that didn't have the laces, but it didn't come in good. So I'm going to import just that one without the laces right here. All right, so the reason I wanted both was because I, of course, bought some laces, and I bought the little ring hooks to make a tumbler with the real shoelaces on them. And with doing them with the real shoelaces, I don't need this design with the laces. So she was nice enough to provide me the whole design. I mean, just the laces. And so I am going to put it in here. This tumbler I'm making for my friend, I am going to be adding the real laces. So I'm using the design without the actual laces in there. All right. So you guys, don't be afraid to, if you see something on Etsy that you guys like, don't be afraid to reach out to the creator and talk to them and see if they'll be willing to, sell you what you want. And that's exactly what I did. I went to her and I just asked her, could I just get the laces part? And she sent it right over. She sent me a special invoice to pay, and she sent them right over. All right, so this one I made 12 by 8. So I'm going to size this as 12 by 8. And then I am going to line it up. So I hit arrange, and I want to center it vertically and horizontally. Boom. And there goes my easy Converse design. I'm going to group all of that together. The tumbler I'm putting it on is 9.325 versus 8.320. And I am going to export this as a PNG. I'm going to save it under Converse. I'm going to save it as green. I can't type today. Goodness gracious. All right. Since I am going to be printing this, I am going to increase my DPIs. I love to increase my DPIs to 450. And then I am going to open up my Photoshop. I am then going to drag and drop my green Converse into Photoshop. Oh, that is pretty. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Let me close that. Because what I like to do is around the back of the shoe, I want to put the Converse tag on the back like I did on my other ones. See right here, I put that Converse tag on the back. So actually, I am going to go here and I'm going to import just that tag part right here. I don't know why it came in so big. All right, so this is actually just the PNG with the transparent background. So the first thing I'm going to do is crop it because it's way too big. So I am cropping it. You know what? What I'm going to do is I think I actually saved the other file. So let me go to Converse. I did. It's right here. All right. So I'm going to just open that one. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to. Okay. So this is the design that I actually bought from her. And these are just me trying to. That's the design that I actually bought from her, and then I messaged her to see if I could just purchase the laces, which she let me do. So this is the Converse one that I did, and I am just going to ungroup this one, and I'm going to ungroup that, and I'm just going to get these two pieces right here. So I selected this one, and I'm going to hit my Shift key and select that one. I'm going to group that together, and then I'm actually going to copy it, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm not going through all of that right now, and now I'm going to paste it in on this page. So here it is right here, and I am just going to put it in here. So this is 12, 9.325 because all right, and I can't, on this one, I can't use my alignment tool to align it right in the center. I'm going to have to eyeball this one. The reason why I can't is because this whole laces part is one piece. The only way I could do that I would have to split this piece off or crop this piece off and then put this in there and then align it. But that looks good to me. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can now delete this because I don't need it anymore. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to make sure that it is aligned. All right. And I'm going to group it together. And now I'm exporting it. And I'm going to use the same file. It's asking me if I want to replace it. Yes. And I want to bump it up to 450. All right. So now I'm going to open Photoshop and I'm going to drag and drop it. So now what's going to happen when I wrap the tumbler at the seam, the Converse is going to be showing on the back of the shoe like it is on the tumbler. It's going to be showing on the back on the seam like it does on the actual shoe. All right, so I'm going to now send this to my printer, and I'm printing from my Epson F170. All right, so I got my F170 set. I'm going to print settings just so you guys can see. I have presets, so my settings are for the 170, they only have two types of paper. You have the rigid and you have your textile. The textile is for fabrics or whatever. If you're pressing on fabrics or subbing on fabrics, the rigid is for all hard substrates. I'm going here. I'm using Photoshop to print, so Photoshop is going to manage my colors. So I make sure custom is set and no color adjustment is made. I don't want the printer making any color adjustments. Of course, my image is going to be mirrored. So now I'm going here, down here. Here's Photoshop's color management. I want Photoshop to manage the colors, and since I have Cosmos ink in my printer, I'm using the Cosmos ink color profile. Now right here, if you see, I have it set to perceptual. If I want to lighten this green up a little bit, I can change it to absolute. You see how it brightened up a little bit? And that's the darker. So I kind of like the light. Dark. Which one you think we should do? Let me pull up let me go to Google and see what some green Converse are looking like. Let me see. All right, so to me it looks kind of dark. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the dark. So I'm gonna leave it on perceptual, and I'm going to print this out. So we're gonna let that print, you guys, and as soon as it finishes printing, I will be back. Okay, guys, so while that is printing, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my hooks and my laces. So I ordered some hooks from Amazon, and these are the hooks right here. And I don't recall ordering black, but I'm gonna have to take a look at my my order form. But I don't remember ordering black, but okay. I'll take those. These are the bottoms, I guess, that they stick on. Let me see. Okay, so these actually come with like a bottom that would mount, and then you put the lace on, and then you would put it in, tap it in like that. But I'm not going to use that. The reason why I'm not going to use that part is because it'll be sitting up off of the cup, and I don't want it to sit up off of the cup. So I am not going to use that part. I will, however, might use this part and glue that part in so it seals. We'll see when I do that. All right. But I think I'm probably just going to be using this part. All right, so it has finished printing. And I had printed on the wrong side. Ugh. Give me 1 second. put my paper in upside down, you guys. Sorry. Okay, so I am going to reprint that. Let me reprint it. Print. And everything is still set. And I'm going to hit print. I can't believe I printed that on the wrong side. Okay. All right. So while that's printing, I'm going to need 12 of these, 6 going down each side. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And then I am going to clean my tumbler and prepare it for the wrap. As soon as I finish that, I'll be back. All right, so it's almost finished printing. I'm going to clean my tumbler, sprinkle a little alcohol on it. Go ahead and make sure it's cleaned. And dry. And I'm going to be using weldwood contact cement to attach these hooks to my tumbler. I'm going to do that after it is subbed. So almost finished printing. Almost done. Almost done, you guys. 1 second. So once it finishes, I'm going to be taking it over to my cutting board and cutting it. So it's done. And here is the print. So I'm going to go and trim it now. All right, so I did trim it. As you can see, I didn't do a good job trimming that side because I left some white, but I made sure I did not leave any on this side. So this is the side that I'm going to make sure is face down on the tumbler. And this side with the line will make sure that that part overlaps so I don't have a seam. for some reason, this tumbler, let me go get another tumbler. This is some new tumblers that I bought, and for some reason, that measurement is not working. Give me 1 second. And that's one of the reasons why you always got to make sure that you measure your own tumblers. Don't rely on someone else to tell you what their measurements are for their tumblers, because each manufacturer is different, and so it depends on where you get them from. So I'm going to see if this one fits, and if this one doesn't fit, I'm going to have to reprint it, remeasure and reprint. But it's just strange because they have been fitting. I've used these before and they have been fitting, but for some reason today it is showing its tail. It don't want to work. All right, so this one is going all the way down to the bottom. The other one was crooked and it wasn't going down to the bottom. And on here, I have to make sure that I line up the design down at the bottom where the sole of the shoe is. I want to make sure that I line it up. And that is why I prefer thin paper, so I can see through it. And I can see through it, so I'm trying to line it up as best as I can. And that looks like it's going to be good. So I am now going to tape it, and I start down at the bottom. And I pull in, squeeze, and I tape going up. Pull in and squeeze. And I tape going up. Pull in and squeeze. Tape going up the seam. Pull in and squeeze. Tape going up. Tape up. And when I get to the top, pull in and squeeze. Tape up and fold over. All right. Now going to take long pieces and seal my rim. I don't go all the way to the top. I leave room for air to release through the top. And I just go around. Now that I've sealed down there, I make sure that there's no parts bubbling up, which there aren't. It looks good. So now I'm going to now seal the top with a little overhang of tape. And then I will then fold this over into the top, making sure that it seals so no air can get up underneath there and cause ghosting on the rim. So it's sealed. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom. Going around, making sure there's no air pockets or bubbles, which there weren't. Usually if you pull it tight, you won't get that, but if you do, you can squeeze them out. And then I'm going to go in, sealing around the top of the rim. Okay. And now I take my infamous squeegee, and to make sure, I just go around the rim, making sure I have it all out. Nice and flat. I'm going to go out in the garage. I'm going to shrink wrap this, put it in the oven to sub. I sub at 350 degrees. I'm going to sub this for 4.5 minutes. Then I'm going to take it out and place it in front of my fan. Now you see how that piece of tape right there popped up a little bit? How I'm going to fix that, I'm going to snip it with some scissors. And now, I'm now going to fold it back over so it can seal itself. All right. So yeah, I'm going to sub at 350 for 4.5 minutes. I'll take it out and sit it in front of my fan for about 2 minutes to cool, and I'll be back. I have finished subbing. I'm going to now see what it looks like and pray that there is no ghosting. Change the knife. I mean the blade on this X-Acto knife. Kind of dull. When using it, I just have to make sure I don't scratch it. Alright, so far so good. As far as the ghosting. Get that ink release, Crafting Besties paper, and you know what? That seam is beautiful. It's supposed to be right there. You can barely see it. And let's see how my lines, see how it lined up perfectly. Let's see what my tag on the back is looking like. All stars. Okay, okay. My little extra point on my star and my verse is kind of crossing each other, but so that's the reason why I probably should have went ahead and trimmed the rest of that white part off. But it still might have been a little bit too long, but hey, oh well. It is what it is. And I didn't line it up too hot up here at the top because I got a little white spot up there. It's a little too far. It was a little off when I printed. All right. But that's okay. I got that little spot right there. I might be able to fix that with my mini press, you guys. Let me see. Did I throw it away? Where are you? Yeah. I could probably fix that with the mini press. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to be using contact cement. And I have my little tumbler holder. So for the contact cement, you have to apply to both pieces. So I'm not going to use this brush. I'm going to use a smaller brush. So I'm taking a little contact cement. This stuff is real gooey. And I'm applying on this. I'm going to apply some on all 12 of these pieces. On this side that I'm going to be laying flat down on the tumbler. Now I'm going to apply this to all of these pieces. And then I'm going to apply to the tumbler as well. And with contact cement, the way it works, you let it sit for about 10 minutes, at the least, no more than 2 hours. I'm putting a healthy amount on there. You guys can't see that. I'm sorry. Okay. I should have put some gloves on, but I'm making a mess on my hand. I'm gonna just wash it off. All right. So I did all 12 of these. I'm going to do all 12 of these. All right. One more. All right. And then I am also going to place contact cement on each one of these dots. Now the contact cement will take your finish away. So you just better make sure where you putting the contact cement, that's where it's going. Because it's going to eat away at your finish. And do this last one right here. All right. So that needs to sit for about 10 minutes. While that is sitting, I am going to go and get ready for my full-time job. I have to be there this evening. I work swing shifts. So I'm going to mosey upstairs and get ready for work. Some of these I put a little more than on others, so I'm just making sure it doesn't run and mess up the rest of my design. All right, you guys, so I am going to get ready for work, and I will be back in 10 minutes. Okay, guys, so I am back. So it's been a little over 10 minutes. So what I'm now going to do is take the little hooks and we're going to place them on the circles. So I am going to place that right there and press it down onto the tumbler like that. So what happens with that contact cement, when you let it sit, it gets sticky, okay? And so I'm just going to come in now and I'm going to stick them on. And I want to make sure that they're lined up nice and even, because once you stick it, it's going to be stuck. And I'm pressing it down. Sure I line them up good. Stick them to my glove. And that's why I put gloves on, because it's a little sticky. Sticky icky. And I didn't want to get it all over my hands. So I put these gloves on. So that's one side. It looks like this one is a little crooked, so I'm going to try to straighten that one up. And that's about good. Now I'm going to do the other side. All right, 2 more to go. And last one. All right. So I'm just pressing them down. Make sure that they are sticking. And now I would just go in with the laces and tie up the shoe. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and head to work. So I'm going to let this sit. And by the time I get home this evening or tonight from work, they should be nice and adhered. And I'm messing up, putting... I got sticky on the gloves and I'm about to mess them up. All right. And so there is the tumbler. So I'm going to let this sit for a while, let it cure. I'll be back tonight when I get off work and I will tie up my laces. All right, I'll see you guys later tonight when I get home from work. Okay guys, so I am back from work. So here is the tumbler. I let it rest, let it dry a little bit. They seem pretty stuck on there, but I think I want to reinforce them with a little epoxy UV resin. All right, so I am going to, I'm using this little dropper right here because I did have a little bottle of UV resin that had like a pour spout on it, and I threw it away because I actually forgot what I was holding it for. So right now I'm just putting some UV resin over the top of the little nodules, and I am going to cure. Just want to make sure that I don't cure my loops down. And I'm not putting much, I'm just putting enough to cover the little links. Cleaning off my needle because while I was doing that and holding that light up there, it was curing the resin to my needle. All right. Just a little bit to cover the I'm just setting it right now, and I'm gonna let it cure a little longer once I get them all done. I'm gonna probably run it like 2 more times for 90 seconds each, just to make sure and let it dry properly. So like I say, I'm just squeezing a little bit out, just enough to cover the part that's attached to the tumbler. And I'm making sure it drips around the sides as well, around the edges. last one. I gotta buy me another little dropper bottle. The needle's okay, but I prefer my dropper. All right. So now I am going to set that up there. And we're gonna let this cure. I just want to make sure I'm still able to lift up my flaps. I almost cured that one down. Just making sure it cures a little bit longer. And then making sure that I can still move all of my loops, that I didn't glue any of them down with the resin. Still kind of sticky, so just gonna let it sit for a little bit longer. And resin is sticky anyway, until it's fully cured. Try to set that up there like that. And I'm gonna let that run for a little bit longer. Oops. And in the meantime, I am going to get my shoelaces. So I ordered the multi-pack of shoelaces, and it came with all these colors. So I have black, blue, purple, And I'll put the link in the description to these. And of course, each set comes with 2, so I'm only going to be using 1 for this tumbler. And I ordered the shortest length. I don't remember. It says 29.5, 75 centimeters. So that's the size that I ordered on these, the smalls. And I'm going to do it one more time. And it's kind of sticky, so I'm actually going to wipe it off with a little alcohol after I think after this one I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to wipe it off with some alcohol and see if that removes some of the stickiness. I'm going to do it one more time. And then I'm going to wipe it off, clean it off with some alcohol. I have this little makeup pad, sponge, whatever, cotton. And I'm going to just soak it with a little alcohol. And when I was doing epoxy cups, alcohol was my best friend. I used it to clean off the epoxy off my hands if they were sticky. And okay. So now this is what we have. And I secured them even more with the UV resin. So I'm just making sure I didn't glue any of the links down. And now I'm going to just wipe it clean with a little alcohol. And that alcohol kind of removes away the stickiness to it. All right. And so now we are going to lace it up. These might not be long enough. Uh-oh. I probably should have got the longer ones. I don't think these are going to be long enough, guys. I'm going to have to get a longer pair. be close. Yeah. So you probably want to get, I can pull it a little tighter. Okay, so it's just barely gonna fit, but that's good enough because that way I won't have too much hanging over. All right, I think I could work with this if you pull it tight. Okay, okay, not too bad, guys, not too bad. And I wonder how should I do the top? Should I tie it? I don't have enough for a whole full loop. Should I just do this guy? I can do that. How does that look? It's not bad. Okay. And there you go. That's cute. That is too cute. Alright guys, well, like I say, if you want your shoelaces to be a little bit longer, but I honestly, for the tumbler, I think that is actually the perfect size. Because you don't want it too long and hanging too much. And I think that's cute. You don't need, really don't need the little loop bow tie at the top. And I think that is just fine right there. Not too bad for my first one. Okay. And it seems to be holding strong. And like I say, let it sit for another day or so and cure a little bit more. And I think that is cute, you guys. Very cute. Okay, guys. Well, like I said, thank you for watching. I'm going to put the link to the store where I got the laces template from. If you don't see them on her website, you probably just have to inbox her like I did and ask her if she could just sell them to you, like she did me, and she'll send you a link to like a she'll send you a separate link through the messages, and you'll just pay through there and then download the files just like you would. But I will put that link in the description as well. Alright guys, well, thank you for watching. You guys have a good evening. Don't forget to like, share, and comment if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Bye-bye.